What comes to mind when I say the word addiction? Maybe you picture someone clutching a cigarette, struggling to quit a decades-old habit. Or maybe you think of stories about opioid abuse or alcoholism. The word carries weight, doesn't it? It conjures up an image of something destructive, forbidden, or tragic. But today I'm here to talk about an addiction that's far less obvious. An addiction so normalized, so seamlessly integrated into our daily lives that we hardly even realize we're hooked. What am I talking about? Attention. Yes, attention. The constant pursuit of likes, retweets, notifications, validation, and more importantly, the enormous toll it's taking on all of us. This is the addiction no one talks about. Let me set the stage for you. It's morning. You roll over in bed and grab your phone before your eyes are even fully open. The screen lights up and suddenly you're scrolling mindlessly. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, or whatever new app everyone's obsessed with. Maybe you're not even sure why you're looking. Maybe you don't even care. But you keep refreshing, keep tapping, like you're hoping something, anything on that tiny screen will give you a reason to stay. Before you know it, 20 minutes are gone. Or maybe an hour. Has this ever happened to you? If it has, don't feel bad. You're not alone. This isn't about self-control, discipline, or putting the phone down. It's about a system designed to keep you addicted. Think about social media apps, streaming platforms, even your work email. They all have one thing in common. They thrive on demanding your attention, little by little, over and over again. Behind the scenes, every notification you receive, every infinite scroll at the bottom of a page, every carefully curated suggested post is really a lever being pulled, a slot machine spinning. You're not just a user, you're a part of their business model. And what these platforms are competing for, what's ultimately making them billions of dollars, is your attention. This might not sound like a big deal. After all, the apps are free. A little distraction never hurt anyone, right? But here's the thing. Our obsession with attention has very real consequences, ones we barely notice until they've already taken hold. For starters, let's talk about how it affects your brain. You've probably heard of dopamine, the feel-good chemical. It's what floods your brain when you experience something pleasurable, like eating a delicious meal, winning a game, or hearing someone say, "I love you." But here's the catch. Social media tricks your brain into releasing bursts of dopamine every time your phone lights up with a like, a comment, or some other virtual reward. Studies show that this constant cycle of dopamine hits rewires your brain. It reduces your ability to focus, makes you more impulsive, and even makes everyday activities feel boring by comparison. You ever find it hard to sit through a whole movie without picking up your phone? Or lose interest in a hobby that used to bring you joy? This is why. Your brain starts craving the next ping, the next bite-sized hit of attention. And this isn't just happening to you, it's happening to all of us. Studies indicate that the average person now spends over 7 hours a day on screens. That's almost a third of our lives dominated by pixels and notifications. And what's scarier? Many of us aren't even aware it's happening. But this addiction to attention isn't just about phones. It's woven into the fabric of how we live now. Take work culture, for example. How often are you expected to stay available online, answering emails and Slack messages within minutes, even during your off hours? How often are you judged by how responsive or visible you are, not necessarily how well you do your job? It's draining, isn't it? We're building careers, but at what cost? Or think about relationships. How many friendships are measured by how often you like each other's Instagram posts or reply to each other's texts? How many moments with loved ones involve not just living in the present but documenting it, posting it, sharing it, chasing that little thrill of external approval? And while we're all busy feeding this invisible machine, genuine human connection often gets pushed to the side. As we hand over more and more of our attention, we lose something in the process. Time, of course. Time we could have spent making memories, learning new things, or simply sitting in silence, untethered from a screen. But also mental space. The constant pull of notifications prevents our minds from ever truly resting. It leaves us drained, overwhelmed, and ironically disconnected in a world that thrives on being hyper-connected. And here's the kicker. This addiction to attention isn't treated with the same urgency or seriousness as other addictions. There are no public service announcements warning us about the dangers of endless scrolling. No interventions when someone's life starts spiraling because they're consumed by comparisons on social media. Sure, we talk about it casually. Oh, I'm so addicted to my phone. But where's the widespread acknowledgement that this isn't just a personal failing, but a societal one? So what can we do? Is it even possible to break free from an addiction so deeply ingrained in our daily lives? It is, but not without effort. The first step, as with any addiction, is recognizing there's a problem. Look closely at your habits. How often are you turning to your phone out of boredom, anxiety, or even just muscle memory? How often are you measuring your self-worth by the amount of attention you receive online? And most importantly, how much of your life are you giving away to distractions instead of living it fully? Once you're aware, take small steps to reclaim your time and attention. Start with boundaries. Set specific times when you'll check social media or emails. Turn off non-essential notifications. Try a digital detox for a few days. See how it feels to be untethered from your screen. It'll be uncomfortable at first, like any withdrawal, but you might just find clarity on the other side. Beyond personal steps, we need to start shifting the cultural conversation around attention. We need to hold tech companies accountable for creating platforms that exploit our psychology. We need to normalize stepping away, not as a sign of weakness, but as an act of self-care. And we need to value presence, focus, and real connections over the endless buzz of approval. Because here's the truth. Your attention is finite. It's one of the most valuable resources you have. Don't let it be stolen, wasted, or taken for granted. You deserve more than to live your life chasing likes or seeking validation from strangers. You deserve to truly live, fully present, fully connected with people and experiences that matter. So let's start the conversation. Let's name this addiction for what it is. And let's take back what's ours, our focus, our time, our lives. It's not easy, but it's worth it. Because in the end, the one thing that matters most is what and who we choose to give our attention to. And guess what? You're allowed to choose yourself.